All right, this one's going to be a quick video. I'm just going to do a follow-up. I've done a whole series on playing in the style of the Allman Brothers. But one of the things that I didn't talk about very much, because you really need to have an idea about the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic, which I've covered in a previous video. But whenever you start to get into the playing of Dickey, Betts, and Duane Allman, one of the things that always sticks out to me is that I don't think that they are thinking about pentatonic scales. It seems to me that their approach is largely based in what we now call triad pairs. That's a form of theory that's associated with jazz, with modern jazz, triad pairs. But we know this. We know that Duane Allman and Dickey Betts, they really loved Miles Davis' Kind of Blue album, and they also were big fans of John Coltrane. And John Coltrane was one of the earliest players that really adopted what we're calling triad pairs. And I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. So whenever we're talking about triad pairs, this is what we're talking about. If I take a D chord, and I was improvising over the backing track that I made for Midnight Rider. It's got 8 measures of D. So if I play a D chord at the 5th fret, look at what I have. I have fret 5 on string 5. I have fret 7 on 4, fret 7 on string 3, string 2 fret 7, and string 1 fret 5. So I have this. That the next chord that I'm playing is going to be the minor chord a whole step above this, and it's going to be E minor. So I have D major, and then I have E minor. So if I look at the E minor chord, I'm going to have the 7th fret, and then I'm going to have 9th fret on 7th fret on string 5, 9th fret on string 4, 9th fret on string 3, 8th fret on string 2, and 7th fret on string 1. So here's my first chord, D major. Here's my next chord, E minor. So what we see a lot on the Allman Brothers is if we drew a picture, if we drew on the neck of the guitar the dots that would make up these two chords, and the first chord, the D major chord, is the chord that's super important. So the notes of the D major are the ones that are going to be very important that I'm going to resolve to. So I'm going to go, and then this. So if you'll notice, what I'm doing is from the D chord on strings 4, 3, and 2, I'm going 7th fret, 7th fret, 7th fret. From the E minor chord, I'm going 9th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret. So remember, the D chord is the important chord. So the notes, those are the ones that are really important. So I'm going to play this note that's in the D. I'm going to move up to the 9th fret, which is a note that's in the E minor chord. I'm going to go back to the note from the D. Then I'm going to go to the next string, string 3. I'm going to go 7. I'm going to go 9. I'm going to go back to 7. This is the D. That's the really important note. Then I'm going to go to the second string. I'm going to go 7th fret, 8th fret. And so this is what it's going to sound like. I'm going to play 3 notes from the D major, and I'm going to play 3 notes from the E minor just on these middle strings, and it's going to be. And I love the sound of those phrases. I'll use those notes to improvise. I was practicing that earlier today, and somebody that was in for lessons said, "Oh, Dickey Betts, that's a Dickey Betts lick." I've read in guitar magazines and I've seen analysis of Dickey Betts' playing, and it's often explained as a major pentatonic scale with an added 4th. And while that does capture the notes, those are the notes, it's that whenever you think of it as a scale like that, it ends up you're just playing through the notes of the scale, and it's hard to really make the music, where whenever you start to realize the music is coming, those three notes that are in the D chord, and you're, and I'm coming back to the D. And in one of my other videos, I explain this. I say it's like if you're having a barbecue and you're making sandwiches, that this, the D, that's the burger. And then this note, that's the E. Well, that's the bun. You got to have the burger in the bun. These other notes are things that you would put on the burger. Condiments. So this one, I always joke and I always say, because I like those little fried onions that come in the can. You got this. So here's the burger. You put the little fried onions on. You go back to the burger. And so the reason why I use this kind of story to explain it is that if you were having a barbecue, if you had a 1/4 pound burger, you wouldn't use a 1/4 pound of those onions. It would be like a stack of those onions like this tall. You just use a few of them. You just embellish it. Same thing with the bun. You got the bun. You're not going to, if the bun weighs 4 ounces, you're not going to use 4 ounces of ketchup and 4 ounces of pickles. You'd have pickles like stacked up like this. So you just use, you got the bun, little bit of pickles. Up here, you got a little bit of ketchup and mustard. You got to get back. You got to get back to what's really important. And whenever you approach it like this, and especially if you knew that Dickey Betts and Duane Allman were listening a lot to John Coltrane and Miles Davis, that 100% have documented use this approach, that this is definitely, I think, where they're coming from. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, and I can do this, you can do this with any D major in E minor. It doesn't have to be this one. I just picked this one because I thought it would be easy for me to show people how to do it. If I did the D major up here, and then I did the E minor, this starts to get to be a little bit trickier because now that's my D and that's my E. And people are less familiar with this. I could do the D and the E, and I could E minor. So I have this. I don't use that pattern as much, but you can do it with any D major or E minor. So this is going to be a short video for me, 9 minutes. It's probably a long video for other people. Make sure and like and subscribe. The reason why people try and keep their videos so short is they're trying to figure out how to maximize the likes and subscribes for their algorithms. I really am trying to figure out how to maximize how to teach this stuff the best that I can. And I do offer lessons in person and online. I'm based out of Cincinnati area. But I'm willing to do virtual lessons online. I actually do a ton of virtual lessons online. So if you want to do some virtual lessons, if you want to take some in-person lessons, that'd be great. If you want to like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. My original goal was 300 subscribers. I'm already past it. So now I'm trying to keep my channel going. So, all right. Have a great Saturday. Thank you.